What in the fuxicle is this?
My name's Cable. I'm here for the kid.
What? The kid?
Move or die. You're no fucking hero. You're just a clown. Dressed up as a sex toy.
So dark. You sure you're not from the DC universe? Bring it on, One-Eyed Willie. Ooh! Yeah! Your bullets. They're really fast.
Hello everyone, my name is Don, the movie reviewer, and we are back again with my best friend, Sam.
Here we are, ready to review us some Deadpool 2!
Deadpool 2, I wasn't very excited about it. I didn't care for the first one all that much. I did like the love story in the first one. That's pretty much the only thing that kept my interest with the first movie. So I wasn't excited about seeing Deadpool 2. It has more layers than the first one, I think, but I would still say the first one is the best one.
Yeah, no, I really liked the first Deadpool. I didn't see the first Deadpool when it was in theaters because I felt superhero movie fatigued. I was just sick of it all. Too much Avengers, Thor, Captain Iron Fist, Face Man.
Oversaturated.
I was tired of it, so I was like, I'm skipping this one. I should have seen it. I really liked the first one. I thought it was really funny, and I really liked the way it plays sort of as a parody of superhero movies in general. So those are the things that I like in a Deadpool movie. I think this one mostly got the job done.
Yeah, I would say that Deadpool 2 is the same as the first movie, except it has a lot more layers to it. There's a lot more going on, but the story is still simple. Nothing that is it's kind of convoluted, but it's nothing that's difficult to follow or meaningful or anything. But yeah, so we saw Deadpool 2. Let's get into it.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Alright, so Deadpool 2 starts off with Wade Wilson, played by Ryan Reynolds, and he is doing his Deadpool thing, after the end of the first movie. He's Deadpool, he's going out there, a mercenary, taking out people, doing these jobs for some reason. I don't know why. He's just doing these things.
For the cash!
It's for the cash, but who's paying him?
I don't know who's paying him, but I think the implication is, right, that he's become like a hitman, yeah?
Yeah, I guess, but for who? Just to do good deeds.
Whoever. I don't know if he's doing good deeds.
Well, he said at the very beginning of the movie, he was doing these jobs, taking out these gangsters and stuff, and then we see the montage of him doing.
True. I guess he sort of implies that he's working for good and not just doing it for the cash.
Right. Because it's like, who's he working for? Why is he doing this? There's no explanation. It's just, oh yeah, catch up with Deadpool.
You don't need an explanation. I felt caught up. I liked the little intro scene, right?
It was fine. I thought it was a little funny.
And then his girlfriend Dundee gets killed.
Oh yeah, and that's the thing that I liked about the first Deadpool movie. I know you and I had a discussion one time. You said you didn't even care for all that lovey foo-foo stuff.
No, I didn't find the love story very compelling in the first Deadpool. Anyway, but yeah.
I like the love story in the first Deadpool. I think that's what keeps the story going, the progression with them as characters, mixed with their relationship. And so in this, they kind of continue that with his girlfriend. She gets killed pretty close to the very beginning of the movie, is what sets him on his path of depression, which was... There's lots of stuff going on here. It's like they're trying to juggle multiple things. Like they have, Deadpool dealing with the grief of losing his girlfriend and him trying to communicate with her in the afterlife and all of that stuff. And then you have Cable dealing with his situation, him coming from the future. And
Cable is sort of the main villain at first and then not the main villain later in the movie.
Yeah, there really is no main. I mean, there really is no main villain in this movie, which is refreshing, I would say.
I mean, yeah. I suppose it was good. Cable was sort of a generic villain, but they set him up with so much sympathetic backstory that you know he's mostly going to be a good guy by the end. But,
yeah. With the fire starter kid, you know, they kind of set him up to be a villain too.
True, and I think the plus side of the main plot was that the story about the out-of-control kid, you know, causing all this damage in the future, and do you need to eliminate the kid and kill him, or is there a way to actually, like, reach the kid instead of doing something through violence? Can we accomplish saving lives through compassion instead? And I felt like that is a little more complex of a driving theme than most superhero movies go for. So I like that about it. But ultimately, I just don't think they developed the characters enough, the relationships enough, the acting wasn't that great. So I didn't care too much for sort of the main story, as it were, of him trying to help the troubled teen.
Yeah, I remember you pointed out after we left the theater that they didn't really develop the relationship that Deadpool had with the kid. It was just like, oh, you know, I'm working with the X-Men, we show up, kid's doing some bad shit, they have to stop him, but then he learns that the kid's probably being abused by these medical people or whoever these people are, and then he ends up killing them, then they end up being locked up together, and then, you know...
But they don't bond well.
They don't bond, no, they don't.
Exactly.
They just have this bickering back and forth where he's like, I'm not your friend, kid. And he's like, you are my friend. And then kid finally...
He's like, oh, I talked to my dead girlfriend. Turns out the point of the movie is to help you, so I'm going to do that now.
You know, she says you, what is that line? Something about his heart. You have to...
Your heart has to be in the right place.
Yeah, your heart has to be in the right place, which I thought was pretty decent, kind of, you know, at first. But then the thing where it kind of just went a little too far with it was when she repeated that line again. I told you about after we left the theater, when like she said it at the very beginning when he's like, oh, we're gonna have kids, he's all excited, and she says your heart, or she says something about kids where it's like kids have to, they make you better.
Oh yeah, there's the line from the beginning, kids give us a reason to be better than ourselves or better than we would be otherwise, something like that.
Yeah, so he's supposed to go through this journey to become a better person, and he's trying to reach her after she dies, and he's trying to kill himself and he reaches the afterlife, but he can't get to her. It's like a field blocking. And then she's like, yeah, your heart is not in the right place. It has to be in the right place. And then when he goes back there multiple times, and I think the last time he goes back there, she says that line again about the kids. And that kind of, I already knew what this whole point was of him going there.
And it felt like they're beating you over the head with it.
Yeah, they're beating me over the head with it. They pushed it a little too far. They could have taken that line out of there. Like I said, I did like the relationship in the first movie.
Aaron Sorkin says they pay us for what we don't write. Yeah, if you can leave something implied. I think Aaron Sorkin says that. They pay us for what we don't write. The truly great writer leaves the right lines out, right? That's your whole beef with that moment.
Yeah.
It was already obvious that he had this big story arc, and then if you just come out and say it, it sort of takes you out of it.
Yeah, it does. That's what happened to me with that one.
Kids give us a chance to be better than we used to be. Kids give us a chance to be better than we used to be.
Fucking shoot me.
Yeah, I mean, I think I could have done without all of the afterlife scenes. I wasn't such a big fan of any of that. I thought the story makes sense and is more realistic if he doesn't get to communicate with her and just has to figure it out. But I think they're fine. Overall, what I liked about the movie was that I thought it was really funny. I laughed a lot through the whole thing. There are so many inside jokes, so many movie jokes, so many jokes about superhero movies and film in general. There's even is it Basic Instinct is the name of the show? The Basic Instinct joke with the light crossing. Oh my god, that was so
That was hilarious.
Anyway, there's a lot to love if you enjoy comedies, and especially if you're a bit of a movie buff or a a superhero movie buff, and you're gonna get a lot out of these jokes. But the only part, yeah, and that's what I liked about overall about the movie. Specifically, if you look at like the plot and the character arcs, I felt like Cable, the guy who's sort of the bad guy at first but turns around, he's trying to kill the kid that Deadpool is trying to protect. You know, his whole mission is to reach a troubled teen. And I feel like it's from his perspective that we really get the whole point of the whole movie, right?
Cable.
Yeah, Cable thinks that the only way to save his family is to kill the kid, but in the end of the movie, he ends up using his only time travel trip back to see his family to save Deadpool so that Deadpool and the kid can be together, and he learns that, you know, like, sometimes, right, you don't want to use violence and hate to try and combat violence and hate. Sometimes you have to, you know, use compassion. You have to maybe even sacrifice being able to visit your family so that your family can live and you can accomplish your overall goals. Anyway, I thought his character arc was a little interesting. Other than that, I wasn't too jazzed by much of the story elements or any of the acting or directing or anything like that.
Yeah, neither was I. I would say that Cable did have, especially it being played by Josh Brolin, he did a phenomenal job with the character. I thought his appearance was cool. He was badass in his action scenes. His story I felt was the most compelling, but it didn't go deep enough to where I felt it emotionally. I just understood it and went along with it.
Yeah, you don't feel super connected to anybody.
Yeah, and so I felt that it would have been beneficial and better for the movie to follow more Cable's story, because it's kind of confusing at the beginning because you see all the setup with Deadpool and his stuff, and then Cable kind of comes somewhere in the middle of the movie already.
The main objective of the movie isn't established till like the 50-60 minute mark.
Yeah.
Where you're like, okay, Wade Wilson is going to try to save the kid, and Cable wants to kill him.
It just
and there's your mission.
It happens. Yeah, they didn't take a lot of time building that.
No, I'm not saying they didn't take a lot of time. I said it took forever to get there.
Oh yeah, it took forever to get there.
It took forever to get there, and then at the same time, the relationships aren't built well enough.
Right.
It's like they took a long time giving us all this information to get to this point, all this plot, but there isn't like any character to back it up. There's no connection between the characters or anything to connect us to the characters. I felt like the movie did take a long time to get going.
It did take a long time.
And then there just a few too many action scenes for me. Like I felt like there were two climaxes. There's the one where they attack the convoy, and then the one where they go to the orphanage.
Yeah, the orphanage scene.
Yeah, right. I feel exactly like you. Like I was ready for that convoy attack scene to be the climax. I was like, all right, movie is coming to an end.
That's what's funny too when they
we got 40 minutes of movie left to do.
When they did the plan, when they had their little Crayola stuff and they were doing the plan and he got all those people to work with them, there was a little thing on their plan that said, okay, once the convoy mission is successful, there's no third act. It said there'd be no third act if the convoy mission was successful. So I thought that was funny.
That's so funny, I didn't even notice that. It was so hilarious.
It was real quick, they showed it when they showed his plan.
Oh my god, if convoy mission is successful, then there is no third act. I think that is a tip to the writers. Make the convoy mission be the third act.
I like the convoy mission. It was exciting.
No, that scene was really well done. And the action scenes for the most part, I think, were like directorially, well spliced together and edited. Nothing exciting about the visuals, though.
Nothing memorable that stood out or anything.
I thought the jet looked a little fake CGI.
Yeah, so did Colossus, but that was the same thing from the first movie. Like, they don't have an enormous amount of money to spend on special effects. They don't have a huge budget for this.
So is Colossus the Iron Russian?
Yeah.
Which is different than Juggernaut, who's Rockhead that I remember from other X-Men.
Oh yeah, it's fun. I like what they did with Juggernaut in here though. Like, he's a lot bigger than in other X-Men movies. Like in The Last Stand, he's just a normal dude with the helmet. He's just bulky, but in this they made him a CGI character, and he's massive like the Hulk. So I like what they did with him. But the special effects, I mean, it didn't take me out of the movie. It was just, it's fine. It's nothing horrible. It's nothing great. It's fine.
I have a lot of good jokes.
I don't know. It takes for me in movies. It takes a lot for me to laugh. I can laugh at stupid things in real life that are absolutely hilarious, especially with stand-up movies. Or just stand-up and movies. It takes a lot for me to laugh. And in this, it's like the first one. I chuckled here and there, but I wasn't cracking up or anything. So I thought the jokes were they're fine. They're okay.
I mean, we both love that he assembles a team.
Oh
that,
yeah,
that doesn't do so well probabilistically.
That was funny and surprising.
That was really funny. Oh, and I love that there was a character whose superpower was good luck, because I thought that was really funny and meta, because they always have good luck, because they're the protagonist of a movie and nothing bad. The bad guy's always gonna miss. There's always gonna be something. They're gonna survive. So the fact that really good luck was like her actual superpower, I thought that was really well done.
Yeah, that was well done.
And interesting.
Everyone else died except for her. Her power is luck, and it's like, yeah, all superheroes have luck except for those guys. And then the one quick thing I did enjoy was we saw a quick flash of Brad Pitt as the
You see, Brad Pitt, go ahead.
he was playing the invisible guy. I forgot his name. Vanisher or something, and then when he gets electrocuted and dies, it's a quick flash of Brad Pitt's face. I looked and I was like, oh, it's Brad Pitt, and I didn't confirm it until the credits. It said Brad Pitt as that character. I was like, oh, that's neat. It was funny. I like
That was hilarious.
All right, so my final thoughts would be, didn't care for the first movie, so I admit I went into this not really expecting all that much, because I did read a review before going into this movie, like weeks before watching this today, and the writer of that article that I read basically spelled out how I already felt about the first movie. He didn't like the second one because it says it's a repeat of the first, and so I just didn't go to see this movie because I assumed that what the reader was telling me was true, because I felt the same way. So I already went into this movie with low expectations, and when I went in, I watched it, I felt the same way about the first movie, but I do think the first movie is better because there was an element in the first movie that hooked me, and in this, I wasn't really hooked on anything, but I did like Josh Brolin as Cable. His character was cool, and then the scene with the superheroes surprisingly being killed, and then seeing Brad Pitt in there, and all of that was good. The convoy sequence was entertaining and fun. Other than that, I didn't care for Deadpool 2.
I thought the first one was really good and super groundbreaking. Obviously, the second one can't be groundbreaking anymore because the first one already did it.
Can't strike lightning in a bottle twice.
Exactly. So I thought it was a okay movie, funny jokes. I think the first one was a must-see. This one, not a must-see. Yeah. Go see it if if you don't got nothing else to watch. If you already seen what was better this summer.
Man, Infinity War is way better than this movie, man. Infinity War, I'm telling you.
If you're going to the movie theater and you've already seen Infinity Wars and you've already seen Solo, go check out Deadpool 2. It's worth the money, but
watch Infinity War
not a
10 more
must-see.
times, man. Infinity War, I'm telling you, watch it 100 times. Give Infinity War all your money.
I haven't given any of my money to Infinity War.
What are you talking about?
I haven't seen it.
This guy has not seen Infinity War yet.
I know. I'm supposed to. Like I said, I didn't. Back when Deadpool 1 came out, I felt a little fatigued. I'll probably end up seeing
I felt fatigued too. Like, I didn't want to see any superhero movies. Like, I saw Civil War, and I thought Civil War was fine. Everyone's head over heels about it. I didn't like Age of Ultron.
Oh, me neither.
And so I went into Infinity War I went in with high expectations. It's my most anticipated movie of the year, but I was like, I feel like I judge movies fairly. And I went in there, and it blew me away. Infinity War.
blowing you away.
It's the best superhero movie this year so far, and I think it will be for the rest of this year. I mean, Black Panther is okay. I like
Black Panther is okay.
Black Panther is okay.
Black Panther is good.
I
Black
gave it-
Panther isn't the best movie I've ever seen, but it's one of the best superhero movies in the
I wouldn't
last
say
10
so.
years.
I gave it an A. I liked it when I saw
Fair
it.
enough, fair enough.
I watched
You
it.
give
It
an
doesn't
A.
have repeatability. It doesn't.
Yeah?
It doesn't have rewatchability, whatever you want to call it. I can't. Like, I watched it again after the first time I saw it, and it didn't have the same effect on me. Like, first time I saw it, because you don't know what to expect. It's brand new. Yeah. And then you watch it again, you know what's going to happen, and now you're able to figure more things out and be like, oh, some flaws with this thing that kind of diminish my
There are always flaws.
enjoyment of it.
Fair enough. Anyway.
Infinity War. Watch it.
Alright, let's do the grades.
All right, great. Final grade I will give for Deadpool 2. I give it a B minus. I give B's to movies that I feel that are okay, but it does get that minus because I really didn't care, but there were a lot of good qualities that the movie had. The action scenes were well polished. I could tell what was happening. Cable, like I said, was a good character. It was fun and entertaining, but it's not something I would probably watch again. I wouldn't watch it again.
I'm going to depart dramatically from my colleague here, disagree with him completely, and give the movie a shocking C+. Almost exactly the same grade. I agree with him almost completely. Right, it was fine, and it was funny, and so that's why it was a C+. If it was just fine and not funny, would have gotten a C or a C-. But I thought it was funny, so I gave it a C+.
One quick thing I want to
That's all I
say.
gotta say about Deadpool 2. Okay, go ahead.
I will say that thinking about the Cable character so much and it being played by Josh Brolin and the character's look and all of his action scenes and just the way Josh Brolin portrayed this character and the way he was directed, I wouldn't mind getting a Cable solo movie.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind because Josh Brolin, I think he was really good in this movie.
He was good. He was good. His character was most interesting. But what on earth is his superpower? He's just mostly invincible. Is he a robot?
They don't explain his powers.
I'm completely confused about his
He
powers.
just has a metal arm, and then he has this suit or something that he can bring his gun back to him for some. I don't know how that works. There were a few scenes when
when he Thor hammer style.
gets his gun back. I don't know how that works. He has a time device where it only has a certain amount of juice.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, his powers aren't explained, but I liked him.
Well, yeah, he was the best character.
That's what I'm saying. They should give him his own movie.
Yeah.
So then they can explain what his powers are in his own movie. Because he was so good, they should give him his own movie. I'd watch that. I would. I'd watch Josh Brolin as Cable in his own Cable movie. Make it happen.
He was good.
Make it rated R too. He works as a rated R character. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Deadpool 2.
That's it, man.
That's it. Alright, so this is it for the review of Deadpool 2. My name is Don. It's my best friend Sam.
Sam, I am.
Thank you for watching. And I'll see you
Deuces.
next time. Alright.
Go. It's a done deal. Oh no, it wasn't recording the whole time. We gotta do it again.
No, it is recording. It's still going.
Just kidding.
You're good. I was about to say it.
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. A peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where are the pickled peppers Peter Piper picked?
Where are they?